What's good, everybody? Live from the Good News radio station. It's your favorite spot for NFL takes, topical tangents. I'm PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Berry.
Hit it, serve. Swerve, serve. Stoner, serve. Lit, serve.
And yeah, if you never listened to this podcast before, you're in for a real treat.
About to get educated.
We got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We got a call-in guest. We got some reporting, some live credential reporting. We got a preview coming up next week. We got a bunch of content coming up for championship week. So this is a real great show for you to clout chase us.
And the Senior Bowl's next week, and I'm leaving on Sunday.
But yeah, man, so shout out to the Good News radio station. Shout out to FBC Radio. Shout out to X Squad affiliates. Shout out to all you fuckers who keep DMing me about the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
By the way, how did you feel about that?
I haven't watched it. I've been waiting.
I feel like you're going to embody it. I feel like you're going to be like, damn. That was
if one more person fucking DMs me.
Hey, sir, DM me real quick.
Low key. Oh, yeah.
I didn't see the resemblance until you said something.
Twitter blew up. I'm just waiting for Pete to start trending on Twitter. I'm telling you.
You should have
Pete Hernandez.
Anyways, I don't have a fresh lineup right now for this exact reason. I've been in preparation for this documentary to drop for about a month.
So you just purposely went ragged?
Yeah, I'm purposely ragged right now. But yeah, man, outside of that, I think you have some credit to reap from this past Monday. Your LSU Tigers won the title, closed it. Cool.
I called that they were going to win. They were going to score 42. I thought it was going to be closer, but they clamped up. They won for the exact same reason that I said they would win. That like their defensive backs are just much better than Clemson's, and because of that, Justin Ross was pretty much invisible after having the game of his life as a freshman last year. T. Higgins did the best he could, but he's pretty much by himself. Kind of reminded me of A.J. Green. He kind of reminds me of a younger A.J. Green.
My biggest takeaway from that game is next year, will Lawrence be better than Tua?
It's not even close.
This year?
He's already better.
No, but I'm saying, because like Tua was he kind of like was lateral this year, if not a little bit not as good as last year. So is Trevor Lawrence still like, does he stay the same? Does he take a step back? Like, how does he respond to that?
I think they got the number one overall recruiting.
No, but
class.
I'm just talking about Lawrence specifically as an individual. How does he respond to taking that loss?
I mean, they showed the story. He lost his last high school game of his career after winning like 89 straight or whatever. Then comes to Clemson, wins 24 straight, loses. I think he'll rebound. I mean, their defense is going to take a hit because they're going to lose Isaiah Simmons. So it's kind of like, and your corners got eaten up. And I don't trust teams that start like white dudes at corner and safety. I just don't. I don't care if you think that's racist. History and I could say genetics, but just
you
history.
Like white safeties. Shut up.
I like white safeties who are good. I don't like white safeties who should really be linebackers, but they keep saying they're safeties when they should just admit that they're an outside linebacker. Shout out to Tanner Muse.
And yeah, man, shout out to Coach O getting that win, stuffing it in USC's face.
The hero. Kenichi Udeze got a ring too. They fired him dirty too.
And a bunch of those dudes are going to the league. I feel like there was
Justin Jefferson.
I feel like there was a lot of just first round picks just overall in that game. A lot of first and second round picks just throughout that whole game.
There were a lot of insanely talented players on that field. And the crazy thing is, Derek Stingley Jr. probably was the best one. Grant Delpit declared for the draft.
What do you make of people saying this LSU receiver class is probably the best college group since USC?
They're better than USC. Jefferson was a 2-star recruit. I think if he runs a great 40, people are going to be watching this 40. And he looked fast. He's already quick because he destroyed Taylor Muse's ankles. Like, I've never seen. Like, I feel like their safeties and linebackers might need some form of, like, health care insurance. Because Jefferson, he didn't tear up the game. like Jamar Chase did, but they couldn't stop him either. He had his catches whenever he wanted. I think he had 9 catches. When they threw it to him, he ran over a corner. It was embarrassing. He was doing grown man stuff to some of those DBs for Clemson. I just felt bad. Kendrick got eaten alive. Terrell got eaten alive. I mean, Isaiah Simmons was pretty much playing safety, corner, everywhere. I'm pretty sure I saw him in the ticket booth. I'm pretty sure he was actually announcing the game at one point. At one point, I think he just took over for Venables. The only thing he didn't do was play offense. And by the way, Travis Etienne, I think, has a case for being the best running back in this class. No one accelerates 0 to 60 like him, except for maybe a couple running backs I saw at the NFLPA practice today. But, yeah, we'll get to that later. But, damn it. I said again. All right, that's 2.
I forgot to make my jar.
Typical.
And on that note, we got a special call in.
Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Josh Mitchell.
What's good, Josh? So for those of you who don't know, we got Josh Mitchell on the line. What is he? What are we calling you? The CEO of Gutcheck? The front man of Gutcheck?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's also alumni of Nebraska, alumni of the CFL, alumni of the NFL. He calls himself the DB guru, and he's also my former teammate, my high school brother. What's good, Josh? How's everything going?
And everything is going really good, man. Just staying busy, working, trying to build a business, and just keep leveling up.
I feel you. Same here, man. Same here. So for those of our listeners who don't know, why don't you go ahead and just tell them real quickly, what Gutcheck is, how it started and where it came from.
Okay, so Gutcheck is now my elite training, speed, agility, and strength and conditioning program that I've created. It started back when was my dad in college? In the 80s. My dad started a clothing line back in the 80s, and just growing up my entire life, Gutcheck has just been a motto in the family. I have it tattooed on me. And in college, I brought the line back, started printing clothing again before the NCAA shut me down. But my ultimate end goal and dream for Gutcheck is to build a program, a training facility, and just a culture around what it means, what a Gutcheck moment is, and what it means to be a Gutcheck athlete, and go beyond sports, life, mentorship. Just a lot of big things coming this way with Gutcheck in the future.
So what is that Gutcheck moment? What is that Gutcheck culture?
That moment is if we're using football, let's say there's a minute left in the game. A Gutcheck moment is offense, defense, who's going to make a play, who's going to make that drive down the field to get us in field goal range, the kicker going to make that kick. If I'm a basketball player, who's taking that last shot at the end of the game. A Gutcheck moment is for that athlete, that player, that person that is not phased, the person that's prepared for these moments, is prepared for life. Even if you're in the business field, that person that's got that big presentation, that big pitch at the company, you just don't get phased. You don't fold because you prepared, and in that moment, nothing can phase you. You're ready.
Amen. I mean, I always know what it was, but I just wanted the people to hear what it was. But yeah, man. So I know, like you mentioned, your pop started it. You come from a lineage of athletes. I remember seeing your pops a couple years ago at the grocery store, and he was bragging to me that he got all his kids in a scholarship. So I know you come from a lineage of athletes. What are some of the good things about that, and also some of the challenges that come with having such a strong athletic family?
Being the second oldest, for me, the main challenge was to set an example for my siblings, trying to do things the right way. As you know, I was a little knucklehead starting off. Had an ego, very cocky. So for me, just learning how to really lead the right way for my siblings, and just do things the right way. So when you turn on the TV, or you got on Twitter, or you got on any of those outlets, I was representing the family in the right way, not the wrong way. And when going to a school like Nebraska, the media is everywhere. there is no professional teams. You're at the biggest college, so the spotlight is always on you. So I had my hardships, my ups and downs with learning that, and that was probably the biggest challenge for me. But the perks and the pros of it, growing up in a family of 5 and being the second oldest, is we're all back to back. We're all a year apart.
Yeah.
And we had our own starting 5. We had a squad. We're very competitive. We've always competed at everything, whether it was who was going to race to the mailbox the fastest or who was going to fold their clothes the fastest. We've always been competitive. So getting put in competitive environments, I've never been fazed by anything, especially going to college and having a red shirt for a year and you got guys that are pro ready already and you're not. That competition never fazed me. It helped me being from a family that's so athletic and always competing. I just never have really felt that pressure because I grew up in that type of pressure.
Yeah, so I mean, you grew up, you had the blueprint laid out for you. You had, support around you, but you easily just could have not made it either. So, what was that moment for you? Because I mean, you were a 4-year starter. You were always talented, but what was that moment for you where it was like, okay, I'm actually really am good. Like this is my craft. I'm the DB guru. I'm special. What was that moment for you?
For me, I think the moment really hit me probably junior year of high school when Austin, Tyler, Harold, all the guys started getting their big scholarships and they weren't really rolling in for me because I was too small.
Yeah.
I've never on paper. You're not going to look on paper and see my height, my weight, and think, oh, this kid's a baller. So for me, I knew I really had it when we were playing Centennial our junior year. They had Taylor Martinez, Vontez Burfict, Ricky Marway. They had a bunch of dudes that were supposed to be 5-star D1 guys, and yeah, they beat us by however many points they beat us, but I held my own and I played really well, and then I started getting recognition. That's when Nebraska started coming around, and once they came around, more schools started coming around. And for me, it was like, okay, you can do this. Everything everyone's saying about your height, your weight, all of that, throw it out the window. You've been doing this. You can do this, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't.
And when you're training a lot of these kids, do you kind of almost look for a little bit of yourself in some of them? Or like you look for that one kind of player where you see like, oh, he got some dog in him, but he needs just a little bit more coaching or whatever?
Well, definitely one of the things I look for is that dog in these kids. And that's what I try to preach to them is at the end of the day, when you play football, you can have all the speed, you can have all the height, you can have the strength, the power, all of it. But if you don't have that mentality that you are going to be the best, you're going to train to be the best, you're going to be different than the person next to you and all the other kids you're competing against across the country for that one scholarship, you just have to be built different mentally. Yeah. And for me, what I try to teach these kids is to focus on themselves because we live in a world where everyone's hopping on Instagram, Twitter. They're comparing themselves to the kid next to them. This kid's getting an offer. That kid's getting an offer. This kid's doing that. He's training here. He's training there. And they're not focusing on themselves. And they're getting lost in the sauce and trying to compare themselves to someone that's not them. And no two people are the exact same. So in all reality, you can watch someone else move. You can watch someone else's film. You can study them. But at the end of the day, you have to create your own identity, your own player, your own person.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with that. I think it was one of your dad's camps actually where somebody told me, like, you look around, you see these people from these other schools, but they're not your competition. Like, your competition is the dude in Florida you don't even see. Your competition is the person right in front of you. It's yourself. Like, But yeah, 100%. Man. So I know you don't discriminate. I know you train, all levels of athletes. So what's really the biggest difference between, training with someone who's a high schooler just starting out versus someone who's maybe farther along, a collegiate athlete, or someone you're trying to get to the pros?
The biggest difference is just the attention to detail when you have your college guys and you have your pro guys compared to the younger guys. My younger guys